Democrat lawmakers care more about illegal aliens than they care about their own constituents. They put foreign citizens before American citizens. We're not going to do that. The radical Democrats even support deadly sanctuary cities which release dangerous criminals onto our streets. Sanctuary cities.
President Trump there last night in Cincinnati, slamming progressive policies, calling his opponents radical, and accusing the Democratic Party of leaving American workers behind. Here to respond to all that is Ohio Democratic Party Chair David Pepper. David, good morning to you, and thanks for coming on the program this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So what you heard from the president last night is a vote for Democrat in 2020 is a vote for radical socialism. He's making the case that Democrats are forgetting about the average American. And in the state of Ohio, the president says, we have not forgotten you. How did Democrats respond to his message last night?
Well, it's not working. The truth is he said a lot of very specific things a few years ago when he campaigned here. He went to Youngstown and said, don't sell your home. The jobs are coming back. He went to Cincinnati and said, I'm going to fix this bridge. And the truth is what he didn't talk about last night was all those promises. He can't talk about them because he's broken them all. You know, up in Lordstown, the GM plant is closed. He said it didn't matter. He's done nothing about it. Here, there's been no progress. He's broken promises on health care. So it's no surprise. I know the nation was surprised, but he's underwater in Ohio. Every Democrat they polled is tied or ahead. It's because Ohioans, these long rambling rallies are fun for some people, but Ohioans remember what people promised them. And right now they're seeing a president who's not kept those promises. So
the question is, how do Democrats respond with a solution? Let me just show you some of the numbers on the statewide numbers on the economy. Starting off first with just growth. Let's work off that alone here. When the president took office, growth in Ohio was at 1.4%. First quarter this year, it has more than doubled to 3.5%. The economy is growing, and here's the latest on the employment situation in your state. When the president took office, it was at 5.2%. It has come down more than a full percentage point to 4%. So how do Democrats run up against that growing economy and added jobs in your state?
Well, we've obviously been part of the 10-year recovery that the nation's been part of, but if you compare our numbers to most of the country, we're lagging. You know, Ohio does several things in a very big way. We produce soybeans, we make cars and car parts, we manufacture, and the truth is those areas obviously are all starting to lag because of the president's policies. This erratic trade war. We just talked about Lordstown. If you're going to war with soybeans and the auto industry, you are that's a gut punch to Ohio's economy. We even saw, I think, with this interest rate cut the other day, that's because we're now in our second straight quarter of technically a manufacturing recession. That goes right at Ohio workers. So the truth is, you know, when you run around Ohio and say everything's great, you know, that doesn't work out very well. There are a lot of towns that are struggling, a lot of towns that hope to get infrastructure help, manufacturing help.
There's a lot to dig into there.
He didn't talk about any of these promises last night.
There's a lot to dig into there, and when you really do dial it down to a local level, there are pockets of the economy, to your point, that have not seen the rebound that the rest of the country has. But even your own party is taking on members of your own party who have been on those stages the last couple of nights. Here's a couple of headlines in the New York Times. Just for example, this morning in the opinion section, Democrats are having the wrong health care debate. Okay, this is the New York Times. Another headline this morning, worst Democratic strategy yet, attack Obama's legacy. You really saw that theme, especially on night 2 of the debates. Why is former President Barack Obama being used against your frontrunner, Joe Biden, in the capacity that we've seen?
Yeah, you know, primary, and you guys saw it 4 years ago with I think yours was one of the craziest when Trump was attacking one of your hosts. Primaries have a way of going in strange directions. Obviously, it does not make sense for Democrats to be attacking Barack Obama. The better strategy, we'd say, from Ohio is pivot against Trump. I mean, all of our candidates have different plans to get to universal health care. Well, let's point out the fact that Trump's in court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act and gut protections for pre-existing conditions. His trade war is raising costs on families. I mean,
dig into that other headline. Democrats are having the wrong health care debate. Are you guys getting it wrong on health care?
You know, it's a big tent party. We're seeing a lot of different plans, but I think the American people, most American people, support the Affordable Care Act. They want to see universal coverage. They want to see drug prices go down. All of our candidates are fighting in different ways to get to those end goals. What's Donald Trump doing? He's in court literally trying to gut all of that. So I would say overall, our candidates, again, it's a big tent. I'm neutral like the DNC is. We have a lot of candidates vying to win, obviously, and they have different plans. That will be sorted out. But contrast that back, not to Obama, which I think it doesn't make sense. Contrast it back to the president, Rob Portman, who votes against health care, Steve Chabot. That's the contrast that obviously Democrats should be